Hey everyone, welcome back to Paranormal Inc. Ohio podcast. Tonight's story is a very, very terrifying story. One that most people don't know about. So I found it while I was just online looking at different things, and I actually, typed in something I've never heard of, paranormal. And I'm going through stuff, and this actually caught my eye. So I wrote everything down, and I'm here to do a podcast on it. So I hope you guys enjoy. Most people know the story of Anneliese Michel, or the boy who inspired The Exorcist. But tonight's case is different, because almost nobody talks about this anymore. No famous Hollywood movie, no endless documentaries, just fragments of witness testimony, church records, and a horrifying story from 1906 that many believe was one of the most violent exorcisms ever recorded. This is the story of Clara Germana Cele. The year was 1906. The location, St. Michael's Mission in Natal, South Africa. The mission housed orphaned children and operated under Catholic clergy. Among the students was a 16-year-old girl named Clara Germana Cele. Yeah, I can't read my own writing, guys, you know this. By all accounts, Clara was quiet, religious, reserved, and orphan-raised within the mission itself. But according to reports later written by clergy and nuns, everything changed after Clara allegedly confessed to making a pact with the devil. And after that confession, the mission became the center of something terrifying. Witnesses claim Clara's personality changed almost overnight. She became violent, aggressive, and deeply hostile toward anything religious. According to church accounts, Clara would allegedly react violently to crucifixes, holy water, and prayer. But the most disturbing claims involved language. The nuns reported Clara suddenly spoke languages she had never learned: Polish, French, German. Even phrases some witnesses claimed sounded ancient or unknown. Now remember, this was a girl with little formal education, living in a remote mission school. And witnesses insisted she could understand conversations she should not have been able to comprehend. But that was only the beginning. According to testimonies preserved by the mission, Clara allegedly began revealing personal secrets about people she had never met before. Private sins, hidden actions, things that horrified the priests hearing them. One nun later wrote that Clara seemed able to see through people, and soon the clergy became convinced they were not dealing with mental illness alone. Because witnesses claimed Clara also demonstrated unnatural strength, several adults reportedly struggled to retain her during violent episodes. Then came the incident that made the case infamous: levitation. That truly changed everything in the case. Two priests were assigned to perform the exorcism: Father Mancetti and Father Erasmus, Clara's confessor. According to witness accounts, the ritual became chaotic almost immediately. Clara screamed, growled, thrashed violently. One report claims she attempted to choke a priest with his own stall during the rite. And then, according to multiple witnesses, Clara rose off the ground. Some accounts claim more than 150 people witnessed her levitating during the exorcism. Now, obviously, skeptics dispute these reports completely. There's no video, no modern evidence, only testimonies recorded over a century ago. But what makes this case chilling is the number of witnesses who insisted it happened: priests, students, nuns, mission staff. And according to the accounts, the room descended into absolute terror. Witnesses said Clara's voice no longer sounded human. Some described it as a deep and animalistic. Others said it sounded like multiple voices speaking at once. During the ritual, Clara allegedly cursed the priests and mocked them. And according to one account, the entity speaking through her identified itself as loyal to Lucifer. The exorcism reportedly continued for 2 days, prayer after prayer, scripture after scripture, until finally the priest claimed the entity left her body. One account described a horrible smell filling the room moments before Clara collapsed unconscious. When she awoke, witnesses said she remembered very little, and according to church records, the violent behavior stopped. Unlike many possession cases, Clara did not die during the exorcism. In fact, reports claim she lived peacefully for several more years afterward. She reportedly became deeply ashamed of what had happened and devoted herself to humble religious life. Then in 1912, at only 22 years old, Clara Germana died of heart failure. But the story never fully disappeared, because among paranormal researchers and demonologists, her case remains one of the most heavily discussed alleged possessions outside Europe and America. Not because it can be proven, but because of how many people claim to witness it firsthand. Now, there's something important here. There is no scientific evidence proving demonic possession occurred. Modern psychologists suggest Clara may have suffered from severe mental illness, trauma, disassociation, or religious hysteria amplified by the environment of the mission. And historians point out that stories from colonial-era missions were often exaggerated or mythologized over time. But believers argue the same thing they always do in these cases. How do you explain the languages, the alleged levitation, the knowledge she shouldn't have had? And why did so many witnesses tell nearly identical stories? Those questions remained unanswered, even now. Maybe Clara was suffering from a condition nobody understood in 1906. Maybe fear and religion transformed a tragedy into a legend. Or maybe something really was inside that mission. Something intelligent, something cruel. Something the priests believed they fought face to face for 2 straight days. Whatever the truth is, more than a century later, people still whisper about the girl who allegedly made a pact with Satan and survived. Hey guys, thank you for listening to Paranormal Inc. Ohio. Tonight, sleep without the lights on if you can after this terrifying story. I'm glad you guys came. I hope you enjoyed the story of Clara. I saw that and I read it, and it was the first time I ever heard about it or ever read about it. And it would just amaze me how these priests, for 2 whole days fought and won. Sometimes you hear that they don't win, sometimes you hear that they do win. You watch these movies and everything, and some depict real, some don't. All I know is that exorcism is very terrifying to witness. And I give it up to any person that becomes an exorcist. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's episode, guys. I'm going to be making more episodes daily, and I hope each and every one of you have a great day. And if you want to, you can go to paranormalincohio.com. That'll take you straight to our business page. There you can see some previous haunts, some different videos, all the things we have for sale there, sage, crystals. You can also go in there and see older hunts, like from way back when. So go check it out. Then go to Paranormal Inc. Ohio group there on Facebook. There we talk about the paranormal more in depth than we do on the Paranormal Inc. Ohio page. And of course, always look for Paranormal Inc. Ohio podcast on any podcast avenue known to man. And thank you again. Like us, follow us on Spotify, follow us everywhere, man. Send us out, share us, and comment. Tell me what you think about tonight's episode. Tell me what more you would want to hear. Anything else you want me to talk about. Let me know, and I will do it. And again, thank you guys. Have a great day. I love each and every one of you. Thank you. Goodbye.